Alright, this is Tripp and Cody, and we're going to do a little hunt breakdown of my buck from last year. This is really our first time doing it, so bear with us on the mistakes, or we may get caught on rabbit trails, but who knows. But this is one of our first successful hunts that we got on video, and which I was solo filming because Cody, I think you were working, wasn't you?
No, I was hunting myself that day. I was at my grandpa's field. Remember, you called me while I was in the stand.
Yeah.
And I had to work that afternoon. I wasn't able to come help you drag the deer out.
That's right. You had to work that night, but you were hunting that morning as well, because this was really a busy time, right when the rut was kicking on. So we wanted to get as many people out in the woods as possible. We would ideally like to, and that's one of the things we want to talk about before we even get started, is we had mentioned about solo filming versus filming with a buddy. And preferably, we love filming with, us two, me filming for you or you for me, because you can get way better footage and you can capture more of the hunt, all the aspects. But normally what we do is when it's busy during the rut, we need as many people out there to get as much footage as we can. So last year we split up, and that's kind of one of the things we were going to talk about doing this year, is about not splitting up as much, just kind of going more risky and filming together.
And the reason that is we had some success filming solo, but we had a turkey hunt this early spring that Tripp took he took a rural ounce gobbler, and I was filming, and just the quality of the video and what we're able to capture from having two people out there, you just can't. It don't even compare to solo filming.
It was like daylight and dark. It makes you enjoy. When you go back and watch these episodes, it makes you enjoy it so much more because you're able to capture so much more of it. Like on this deer hunt, as you'll see, we're about to start watching it here in just a second. I didn't capture a whole lot. And to be honest, it was a little tough. Say Cody would have been with me filming, he could have got way better footage of the buck that I killed. Yeah, I filmed this little buck coming in for a while, but I wasn't going to shoot him, so I was just filming. But when the big buck came in, I had to try to get him in frame and try to shoot him all at once, and it's just a little bit hard to do. But we'll go ahead and get into it right now. And I'm going to skip a little bit at first, because all I do is watch this little bitty buck for the longest. Let's see. Now I want to point out real quick as we're watching this, I didn't say it in the video because it's a little embarrassing, but not. But at the beginning of this hunt, I got really sick at my stomach, like to the point that I couldn't tolerate it no more. And I had to get down out of the stand and go use the bathroom, which was actually right at the base of my stand. I normally wouldn't do that, but the way this area sets up is it's pasture with a bunch of fence lines and a big patch of woods. So these deer are running up and down, and I didn't want to cross with my scent out there. I wanted to just go right down at the bottom, and within minutes of climbing back in the stand, this little buck come walking up. And I actually had some Rat Getter hot to trot sprayed on my boots when I walked in, and it got this little buck fired up. He was lip curling and stuff. That's the first time I've ever got to see that. Skip a little more.
I think another thing that makes this hunt so cool is the fact that you got down. You said you were sick to your stomach. Usually, when that happens, very rarely do you have a successful hunt. You're usually thinking, man, I'm just going to sit out here. Maybe I'll get lucky, but you're not really having high hopes.
Yep. Now, at this point, I wanted to point out one more thing before I go forward. This is the third day of gun season, I believe, in Kentucky. And I had hunted opening day in this same stand. And before it even got good in daylight, I actually had no filming light. I tried and tried, but I could not film. This big 9-point come out, and I seen a big 8-point running around, and this 9-point they almost threw down, and it was beautiful to watch. They both got their head down and they walked right up to each other, but before they started sparring, the 8-point ran off, so I knew what the dominant buck was. And it was too dark to film, let alone shoot. And the 8-point ended up staying out there a little longer in the opening for me to shoot, but I ended up passing him, and mainly because I thought that 9-point was still in. I could see him still. He was right in the woods, in the edge of the tree line, but limbs were everywhere. Well, it turns out the whole rest of the morning it was that way. He never gave me a shot. And I wound up having to leave, and I thought that was it, you know. I finally had a good chance to shoot a buck, and I passed him up because I thought I could get a bigger one, and it never was going to happen. But little did I know that this hunt was going to happen. But this point, right when this buck was walking away, that's when I knew something else had to be down the field from me. Because he picks his head up, and he's still lip curling, but right here, he hears something, and he looks down the edge, and I could tell he was immediately scared of something. I knew there was something walking. I had no clue what it would be though. I was just hoping for any buck. And you could tell he was scared. And then about right now I started hearing steps, and I didn't, like I said, I apologize for the footage because it was not good, but I was excited. I had no clue this was about to happen.
That's the thing about solo hunting, you just try to get the best that you can.
Yep. And see, I moved the camera. I could have even caught him on film right there, but I thought he was going to walk. He was going to keep walking. But this buck was a bruiser of a buck. He wanted to run every buck off that was in his territory. And so that's what I thought he was about to do to this little buck, is just run him off. And at this point, obviously, I know what deer it is. The same one that I had been after. And another point is, normally, if Cody would have been with me, I probably would have been bow hunting right here. And that right there is a chip shot. I know it's a little bit cluttered up with limbs, but I was also, the camera was at level with the stand almost. If you stand up, you can get a good shot, and I would have smoked him right there, 10 yards. And Cody could have got great footage of it, but see, being by myself, I had my gun and I was solo filming, so it made it a little bit tough. And I also thought this buck was winning me a little bit right here, because you could tell he knows something is not right. That's why I didn't really give him a whole lot of time. I'll shoot him here in just a second. Right here. And I went ahead and put another one in him just for safe measure, because I had no clue. I knew I hit him, but I did not know where I hit him or what happened. But there he goes falling. I was glad I got that on film. I really wish that I would have not filmed this, just because it kind of messes with you. I don't like to see the deer die. But he did go fast. I want to be ethical with everything I do. And here's the embarrassing stuff, my reaction.
Yeah, he was pumped.
What the heck just happened?
That's what's supposed to happen.
What did I just do?
Yeah. But you also, you know, I'll do that all the time. If I kill a big buck, who cares how I react? I think it's part of it. You know, if I stop reacting like that, I don't want to hunt no more. So if that feeling ever leaves me, then hunting's left me.
Right. And that's the thing about it, you know, when you go out there and you film, it's not scripted. It just shows how you truly feel and who you truly are in the moment. And I think that's what makes it real.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of some other things about this hunt that kind of played it. I did have a trail camera set up right on the other side of where that little buck was, right on the other side of that little pasture. And there was several scrapes down the edge of it. This buck and other bucks were making circles, and they were scraping there every day, either night or day. And I had been monitoring that for probably about a month. And I knew what bucks were in there, and they were checking that scrape. But the crazy thing is, I just stayed out of that area. I kept hunting my other stand, which was a couple 100 yards away. And yes, I missed a lot of the deer, one time I hunted and I seen some deer, but nothing good. And I went over there to check that camera later on when I left, and one of the nice 8-points that I was after was at that scrape. So, that almost upsets you, but when you have a plan and you just do it and you stick with it through the ups and the downs, and then it finally comes together, there ain't nothing more you can ask for. Me and Cody's been hunting for several years, and we'll talk about it here in just a second about some of the lows that we had, some of the downs, the worst times, and it makes this even more enjoyable. When you finally do get success, you enjoy it a whole lot more. But one of the downs that I remember is, which he can tell you more about it, is when we were together hunting in the hills, and he shot this nice buck with a bow, and we were pumped. It looked like a perfect shot, and you can go ahead and tell it.
And it looked like a perfect shot, but we were so hyped, and we saw him go over the hill. When it went over the hill, I heard a crash, and I just thought, oh, he's down up there. So we made a rookie mistake, and we immediately, well, not immediately, but we waited maybe 5-10 minutes and got down and went down there. We thought, we heard him drop. We thought he was just over there laying. Well, he didn't, and we ended up trailing him just a little bit further, and we pushed him. And when we pushed him, we realized that we made a grave mistake. We ended up not being able to recover the deer, and because of that, we trailed him. We did everything we could to try to, because obviously we want to harvest the animal. But for one, we know that he suffered, and that's one thing we don't want. And another thing is we didn't, we just weren't able to harvest the deer, which is a heartbreak. And he was a nice buck. He wasn't a monster by any,
A nice 8-point.
Yeah, he was, but he read the script, did everything you wanted. Tripp got good footage of him. We looked at the footage, and we realized that the shot maybe hit just a little bit further back than what we thought, because the way the arrow was angled, or there's a lot of stuff that goes into play. And that's the thing about hunting, is you can't control everything. You just try to control what you can, make the good shot, do whatever you can. And we know going forward that no matter what we shoot, give it time. Even if you think that it's for sure dead, if we don't see it drop, we won't even go mess with it, just because we've learned that waiting, if you'll mess up if you go rush into stuff, but waiting never hurts anything. You'll never hurt yourself. Shoot yourself in the foot by waiting. And
yeah, we learned
that's one of the big takeaways that I've took from that hunt. And it's a tough lesson to learn, because it's made me sick. I still think about it all the time.
We learned a lot from that one hunt, and like I said, that's just one of the lows. We've been hunting hard, bow hunting, rifle hunting, just hunting hard for probably about 10 years now, or close to it. And we've killed does, we've killed little bucks, and we're still excited about that. Like, I'm not saying don't shoot a little buck, but we have, you have them things that you just want to do, them bucks that you want to kill, and we can't ever get it done. And then you go and we think we finally have capitalized on it, and I film it great, and everything works out great, and then you walk away and you don't have a buck because you made a rookie mistake. And all those bad things, all the lessons that we have learned, that when you have success like this, it makes you really appreciate it. And the one thing that we want to do is we want to build off of it. Even though I love this hunt and I love that I harvested that buck, he's my biggest so far, and he was a bruiser. It was my first Kentucky buck. I've killed several does, but my first Kentucky buck. And
he was an old mature deer.
He was an old mature deer, about 200 pounds. He field dressed, I think, 189. But it was just a cool encounter, cool hunt. But I wish the lesson that I learned from this is it would be great to have somebody filming you. Now, we may still solo film every now and again, but I think for the most part we've decided that, if we're both able and available, like not busy, we're going to try to hunt together as much as we can, because we want to experience the best that we can. We want to capture all the footage for the memories, because we're not out there hunting just to kill things. We have great hunts, great footage. We want to get better with our cameras. And
well, it's about, like me and Tripp's hunted together for a long time, like he said, and a lot of the best parts about hunting is whenever you have successes, you get, like he's always like, if we're together, we're getting to share it with each other. And that's the problem. If we're solo filming and we're trying to share the hunt with you, and we're not able to do it effectively because we're missing this, we're missing that, we're missing key points. So that's why I think that having someone else filming is much more important, because for one, you don't just take my word for it, you get to actually see it yourself.
Yep. Like now, me and Cody's having to watch this, and he's watched it several times with me, but he's never going to be able to go back and be there. And as excited as I was, I know I reacted crazy. And I called him and I called my dad, and my dad eventually came and helped me load the deer. But I was by myself. I didn't get to enjoy that moment with nobody, and I really don't like that. I like being able to enjoy the moment, like when me and him went turkey hunting this spring and he was able to capture my turkey kill, and last year when I was able to capture his turkey kill. It makes it a whole lot more memorable of a hunt, and that's kind of the way I want it to be from here on out. Everything I kill, I want to be able to enjoy it with somebody, whether it's taking my wife, taking my daughter, my soon-to-be daughter, taking, one day I have nieces and nephews, maybe a son, my brother, my dad, whoever it is. I want to enjoy it with somebody, and I hope to be able to film the best that I can to be able to enjoy it with you all too, so you can experience great hunts also. Is there anything else?
I think we pretty much covered all the topics we want to talk
We'll
about.
We'll be doing more videos. Hopefully, deer season's about to fire up in just about 3 weeks. And as I mentioned, just in a few days, I'm going to the hospital to have my daughter. So I'm going to be pretty busy for a while. But hopefully, it'll be some good luck for my deer season, and we can build off of it and have some good luck. Kentucky season opens up in 3 weeks, and Missouri, I think, in 4 weeks. So no, Kentucky's in 2 weeks, and I think Missouri's in 3 weeks. So we'll be pretty busy soon. Dove season's about to open up next week. If we can get us a spot, we're gonna go dove hunt. Maybe we can film that and make a video.
We're gonna be in the woods one way or another. We're gonna be in the
squirrel
woods.
hunting. We're planning on doing some of that. We should have this morning because it felt so good. But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of content. And as soon as deer season comes in, it's gonna be wild. We're gonna do better than we did last year. Even have a lot of episodes, even the ups and the downs. Sometimes you don't always kill something, but we'll have everything videoed and recorded for YouTube. So hope you enjoy it, and hope you stay safe and be ready for deer season. And good luck too.